Hello, people. It's Awakened Sheeple. It is December 4th, 8:30 a.m. And 2 nights ago, I started getting attacked by a different type of voice. And I thought it was just a regular demon, somebody, devil, trying to get in and cause havoc in my life. I kept rebuking it and asking the Lord to help. Please, God, plead the blood of Christ over it. Get rid of this voice that won't leave me alone. And there was just something different about it. It wasn't sneaky. At first it was sneaky, but he dropped that charade real quick when he realized it wouldn't work with me. I listened to one voice. I've learned the hard way. You test that spirit each and every single way, all the time. Weird. Testing the spirit. The spirit are those that do not follow Christ. They will not repeat Jesus Christ is risen in the flesh. Jehovah in the flesh, the living Son of God. Living Son of God. None of them will repeat this. And it's weird. I've been asking him about it. Like, why won't they say that? And he goes, it's him. That's the one thing that God really did that would allow us to distinguish the difference between the good spirits and the bad spirits, because the ones that are from God will tell you they serve the living Son of the Creator. Jesus Christ, the resurrection, everything. They'll tell you that. False spirits, they like to say, I am, or from the Most High. They like to pretend and lie, and they like to throw that around a lot. And if you're not asking the right question, and you just believe that when somebody says, well, I am, that they are, there's problems there. You got to test it, and test it often, because it came at me at one point, and it just straight up saying, you're condemned to hell, and blah, 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 blah. I got to turn this off. And I knew instantly that it wasn't a demon, but it wasn't God, and I couldn't figure out where it was coming from. And so when the Lord woke me up, it was like I started hearing a radio broadcast signal. And most of the time it's just generalized, just hear this high-pitched noise in the center. In the last few days, it's changed. Like, it'll come out of the center of my head, but I start hearing it. It'll go like into this ear, and then it'll be over here, and then it'll be back over here. And it plays games, and it can play Jingle Bells all by itself. So, it can do that. The 4 days ago, it started playing Frere Jacques. And that was pretty cool. And he's like, I want you to sing along with me. And I was like, man, this is a nursery rhyme. Why should I sing? I haven't heard this thing in 20 years. And he goes, where did you hear this song last? And I was like, well, I was back watching sci-fi Star Trek show, Star Trek Enterprise, and then there's a captain, and he's trapped in an elevator with a couple of kids. They got to climb up a ladder to get out, and they sing that song, Frere Jacques. And then you go and look at the definition of Frere Jacques, and one of them is climbing Jacob's ladder. So, God can do that. My point is I hear this radio signal all the time, but it gets stronger and it gets weaker. It'll come in one ear or it'll go in one ear. Last night, this thing was upsetting me so much that I was hearing the signal coming in from it was coming in from three directions and going out in one. Like a blanket broadcast was going out of me or something. And everything else stopped. All the other crud stopped at that moment. And I was like, thank God. It was like a pyramid shape. It was pretty cool, one in the center and two down on either side. And main point of this was this guy. It was a guy. He upset me so much when he started telling me that I was condemned to hell and stuff. And I turned and I started talking to the Lord, and telling him, I was like, I'm really upset now. This guy's messing with the children of God. People that hurt children in any way upset me. And people that mess with the children of God upset me in any way. If I see it, just look out. maybe that's part of the anger thing, because I'm not angry at any one person. I just feel like I'm angry at the world. They don't follow God, and that's the source of the anger, period. I don't see anything else. This guy was sitting right on the outside of the border of my protection bubble, whatever you want to call it. There's a boundary that the Lord will place around you. He was right on the other side, and he's still hollering and trying to poke me. I mean, this guy wanted to provoke me, and to get me to be despairing and sorrowful, and he wasn't going to stop. And I finally told the Lord, I was like, you're going to make him stop. If you're my God, you'll do it. And he goes, son, I give you all power to do these things. I'm like, what? Well, I'm not God. I don't know how to. He's like, go talk to him. And I'm okay. So, I went right up to that, whatever it was, and he didn't like that. He went the other direction as soon as I got close to him. What he didn't know is I could follow. And I followed him to his warehouse room, the line of beds and computers going straight down a warehouse, and they're all sitting there in their chairs thinking, broadcasting devious messages. They're putting it's like some weird sci-fi thought machine, something. I don't know exactly. But what I do know is he didn't expect me to follow him. And because when he opened his eyes and saw me standing there, he's like, most of you guys go to your knees. And I said, I bring the hammer of God, baby. And I started swinging that hammer at all the computers. And then I realized how many there were. It wasn't going to work like that. Then I turned back to him, and I was calm in the anger. I mean, it was weird. And the Spirit of God just started speaking. And it was amazing because, he speaks so eloquently and intelligently. And he knows what he's talking about. He's been around for a long time, if you get my meaning. He's seen everything, if you get my meaning. Anyways, this little weasel, I like to call them freaks. The Lord didn't like that. And I said, my definition of freak is anybody that doesn't follow the Word of God. And then he was like, oh, okay, that's okay then. I'll call you a freak if you're not following the Word of God. So, it doesn't bother me whatsoever. It might bother other people, but I don't care what they think. I'm extreme one way or the other, and this guy upset me to the point. He was bothering the children of God. I thought that this guy was putting out false messages into the children of God, and he's doing it night and day, and he was entertained by it. He's having a lot of fun. Literally, this guy's mind was a sick, twisted playground, and that's why I went after him, I think, because he had bad thoughts about kids, and there was no denying it. And when he realized I was there and that his computer was smashed, he started jumping around in his chair, and he wanted to get away from me. He's, I'm going to hide, and he couldn't think of anything else. And I don't know what he was seeing, but it scared the living death out of him. I'm sitting there telling him, there ain't a hole deep enough to bury your sorry ass. You want to mess with my children? You want to play I am? And this guy's, I'm going to hide. And he's like, I'll bring the lava up from below. I'll bring the rock down from above, and I'll bury you under a mile of water. And you mess with my children anymore, you're going to get this. And this guy, I think, just quit his job because his computer was broken somehow. And he was crying like a little baby when the Lord got done with him. Amazing. I never imagined it. Like why there is, this wall between me and all that anger that I feel inside of me. And that's what it is. It's the anger of God. So, and I'm glad he keeps that wall up, because otherwise I'd be an angry person all the time. And I'm not. I'm really a happy guy unless you just won't stop. And then I'll go after you. And I'm not a mean guy. I don't go after people with violence, but you'll find out what I'm talking about. You keep poking my buttons. God bless each and every single one of you. The little fly has not been back today. And thank God for that. He bugged me so much. I don't get angry very often. I don't let it out ever. And thank God for that. So praise Jesus. Have a wonderful day.